This probably won't be a shock for most of you, but today's video is about Disney World. So if you don't know, I went to Disney World for the first time back in September. It was like an absolutely incredible holiday, and I feel like I have so much I want to talk about. I found when booking the holiday and going for the first time and trying to organise everything, it can be quite overwhelming because there's just so much to think about. So now I've been, I thought it would be kind of good to reflect on my first trip, give some tips and like advice for people that are going for the first time, because I found videos like this super helpful. For this video, I'm going to start at like the very beginning. So you've decided you want to go to Disney World. It's not just like a dream holiday, it's something that you actually want to make reality. Before you even jump in and start looking at booking the holiday, the first thing I feel that is the most important to consider, your general budget and how you intend to save to afford the holiday. What I found worked best for me was to work out how much I was willing to spend on the holiday, because you can do Disney on a real budget and you can do it like for an absolutely insane price. So you've got to consider what works best for you, what is within your budget. So I worked out what kind of I wanted my overall budget to be. So I basically worked out monthly how much I needed to put aside. As soon as I got paid, I put that money into a separate account and I just didn't touch it. It can sometimes be easier said than done. There are months where stuff is going to happen. I just accounted for that in cheaper months. So there was other months where things were a bit quiet or I wasn't doing a lot, so I could save more. So it kind of balanced out. But I just roughly worked out how much I need to save each month, and I just tried to stick to that as best as I could. So once I kind of knew how much I was willing to spend on a holiday, I then actually looked into booking the holiday. One great thing about a holiday like Disney, because it is so massive, and whoever you decide to book through, it's very likely you will just have to pay a deposit up front, and then you'll have like a certain date you've got to pay the rest of the holiday by. So it means that you can book the holiday really early without having the money, and then it gives you a lot longer to save. We did all our booking through Disney. With Disney, you paid a deposit which I believe was around £100–200, but then you didn't have to pay the final payment until 8 weeks before you went on the holiday. Because of that, I do honestly advise booking the holiday as soon as you can to give yourself as long as possible. We went in September 2019, but we actually booked the holiday in June of 2018. We didn't have to pay the holiday off until July 2019. So because we booked it the June before that, we had over a year to save all the money. So when it comes to actually booking the holiday, there is quite a lot to think about. If you take some time to do your research, it will definitely pay off. One of the biggest things I found with a holiday like this was trying to decide when to go. There's obviously times of year that are gonna be busier than others. So obviously like Christmas, things like spring break and stuff is very popular there. And also the summer holidays are gonna be really popular. And just any time any kids are off school is going to be pretty rammed. So if you can avoid the busy times, I do highly recommend it. So we went in September, which is meant to be one of the quietest times of the year. It wasn't as busy as what I was expecting. The wait times for most things weren't really that long, and I found it just really easy to get like fast passes and reservations and stuff, and it just made the holiday a lot less stressful. There are a lot of crowd calendars online, which kind of detail when are the busiest times of the year to go. So it's definitely checking those out and seeing what works best for you. Also, with the time of year you've got to consider with Florida is what the weather is going to be like. Florida weather is extreme. We did go in September, which was a bit dodgy for the weather. There was actually, because September's classed as hurricane season, there was actually a hurricane about 2 weeks before we went on our holiday, but we could have been really unlucky and had our holiday, like our flights cancelled. Hurricanes aren't really common. I think in the last 5 years Disney World has only like fully shut like a few times, so it's not common, but it's definitely something to think about when you're booking. I found September a little bit too hot for me. The humidity is just something else in Florida. It gets so warm. So if you are someone like me that doesn't like the heat, then you want to kind of avoid the summer months and like September time. Going in the summer in Florida, it rains a lot. Most of the time when it rains, it only rains like solidly for an hour in the afternoon, so you can kind of work around it. Again, we got super lucky. I think it only like poured down for about an hour on like 2 or 3 of the days that we were there. Some people, it doesn't really bother them having a lot of rain or having a lot of heat, but if that is a big factor for you and you feel like that will impact your holiday, then that's definitely something to think about. So yeah, aside from that, when it comes to considering what time of the year to go, you definitely want to also think about like the events that are currently on. So the main reason we went in September is because in September they have the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, which me and Josh both really wanted to go to because we love our food. We also had the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and also Galaxy's Edge had just opened before we went there. So that was another big thing that was going on. Definitely check out what events are going on when, because there might be something you really want to go to, or it might be the total opposite and you might want to avoid that time of year, especially if like a new ride is opening and you know it's going to be like super busy. Also watch out for like closures and construction. So Disney World's gearing up for a big anniversary next year, so there is currently quite a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of closures happening. Always look at what time of the year you can get the best offers to. So because we booked quite far in advance and we were going at a quiet time of the year, we got the free dining plan included. And also with ours, we also got the memory maker included. And also because we booked so early in advance, we also got a $200 gift card, which actually covered most of our spending. Once you've decided when you want to go, then you got to think about where you want to stay. We stayed in a Disney resort, we stayed in a moderate Disney resort, and we stayed in Coronado Springs. I cannot recommend staying in a Disney resort enough if that isn't an option for you, if it is too expensive, because to be fair, you can get cheaper deals elsewhere. Definitely look into staying off-site. Obviously, I can't really talk about that side that much because I obviously ended up booking a Disney resort, but I can tell you about the benefits of staying in a Disney resort. So I'm going to just list off the benefits you get. So you get a free magic band. We also got fillable cups, so we could have unlimited drinks at our hotel resort. Obviously then we had the dining plan as well, which you can only get when you're at a Disney resort. Transport is included, so at our hotel we had the bus, so you didn't ever have to worry about how we were going to get to the parks. You can also get early magic hours, which I will be honest, we didn't use a lot because we're not really early birds, and also because as I already said, it was a very quiet time of the year, so I didn't feel like we had to use them that much. If you're going in a busy time of the year, I imagine having early magic hours is a huge benefit. We also had the Magical Express, so we had free transfers from the airport, early access to fast pass reservations, so if you're not staying in a Disney resort hotel, you can only book your fast passes 30 days in advance. If you are staying in a Disney hotel, you can book it 60 days in advance. I think you get early access to dining reservations as well. So if you stay at a Disney resort, it's 180 days before, I think is all the benefits of staying at a Disney resort. There might be others. Once you've decided either not to go for a Disney resort or to go for a Disney resort, it's then trying to decide which one to choose. So with Disney resorts, there are like so many to choose from. There's also different like bands. So we went for one of the moderate hotels, which is kind of like the second band from the bottom. The main reason we went for a moderate was because if you went in a moderate hotel, you got the free quick service dining plan. If you went for one of the value resorts, which were like the ones next down from ours, I think you only got a free breakfast. I also found the moderate ones were a lot less kind of Disney themed than the value ones. We also found at Coronado it was a lot more of an adult hotel, because they have a conference centre there. There was a lot of people that weren't actually there for their holiday, they were just there on a conference, and we just found there was a lot less children around, which for us was perfect. But obviously for some people it might be the opposite. You might want to stay in a like Disney themed hotel, which I totally get. You want to consider the kind of atmosphere you want at your hotel. You also want to consider where you want to be in terms of location, and also like what transport options are available. So for us, Coronado, the reason we chose that over the other moderate resorts is because we found it was a lot more central. So you were very close to Animal Kingdom and you were very close to Hollywood Studios. It was never like too far to get anywhere, whereas the other moderate resorts, for example, were all in the sort of like Epcot area. Same with how there might be construction at the parks. You've also got to consider there might be hotel construction. So for us it worked out quite lucky. Coronado had just been through this massive renovation period, so there had been loads of construction around, but by the time we got there it was kind of all finished. Also, one thing that's probably important to think about is the size of the hotel. which might sound a bit bizarre, but some Disney hotels, and Coronado is one of them, are absolutely huge. It will literally take you about half an hour just to walk around the entirety of it. For us, it didn't really matter. Yeah, I know that can be important for other people. I definitely say once you've actually decided what hotel you're going for and booked it, I'd look into requesting a room. With Disney Resorts, you get 2 things you can request. So for us, we requested near the bus stop. So we literally had a bus stop which was just across the car park for us, so it only took like just over 5 minutes to get there. And we also requested the top floor because we wanted to be somewhere that was a bit quieter, and Disney was super accommodating to that, and we got both those requests anyway. So if where you are in terms of the hotel is important, definitely look into requesting a room. And also just think about what facilities are available at your resort and if that's important to you. So like if it's important to have like a really good swimming pool, for example, make sure you think about what is a high priority for you and book your hotel based on that. Coronado for us just had everything we needed. It had the right atmosphere and right location wise and right price, so it was just the perfect choice for us. I do intend to do a whole video on the Coronado Springs Hotel because obviously it's gone through a lot of changes, so I thought that would be quite interesting to do because it's starting to become a lot more popular as a hotel. Yeah, that kind of covers, you know, your standard when you're gonna go, where you're gonna stay. They're the big ones I'd say when you're booking a Disney holiday, but there is other stuff you got to consider as well. There's your travel. So one thing I found is that because we booked so early, we couldn't actually book our flights with Disney as a package, and we had to wait until 11 months before. Once we got closer to the time and we could book our flights, we actually looked into booking them separately against booking them as part of our package, and for us it actually ended up being cheaper to book our flight separately through British Airways. Don't feel restricted that you have to, once you've booked your package with Disney, you have to do everything with Disney, because you don't. One thing that people don't realise, just because you don't book your flights with Disney, it doesn't mean that you can't use the Magical Express. The Magical Express is open for anybody who is at a Disney resort. The difference is if you don't book your flights through Disney, you've got to actually then ring up yourself and book the Magical Express. But that was, honestly, it was super easy. The only other thing you may have to think about is your actual park tickets. So for us, that was all dealt with within our package, so we didn't have to worry about it. But if you book separately, you may have to think about where you're going to buy your park tickets from. There are a lot of deals out there where you can get 14 days for the price of 7. From what I've heard, Disney isn't always the cheapest option. There are other websites out there that can get you a cheaper deal. So yeah, that's really all I want to say, I think, for this video. I'm not sure how helpful this is. I feel like the only thing I've said, and the main thing that's important to take from this video is just do your research, see what works best for you. So yeah, I hope this is slightly helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.